YouTube, what's going on? This is Kevin the Tech Ninja, and I've had the Galaxy S10 for over a month now, and today I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. So I've had the S10 since the event in San Francisco a little over a month ago. So I made an impressions video that went over all the hardware and all the features, and I made that after I had the phone for about 5 days. So you can check that video out by clicking on the link below. That video is not gonna cover that stuff, but what it is gonna cover is my experience over time, how it's changed, if it didn't change, and also I'm gonna talk about some of the things that I noticed after using it for quite some time. So I'm using the S10 Plus, mainly because I love larger screen phones and the battery life is great. I'm getting around a day and a half with some decent usage. In days when I'm not using my phone as much, I'm over 2 days. And for a phone that's so featured packed as this one, that's pretty good. The standard S10 gets you a full day, but let's say you're going out later that night, you're gonna have a couple drinks at the bar or whatever you wanna do, I do recommend topping it off because it may not last into 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Samsung makes the best looking phones, and I really think they push the limits when it comes to design. A lot of people like to mention the hole punch or the pill shape that is on the screen that houses the cameras. And just like anything else, including a notch, you do get used to it and it doesn't become a factor. Look, you're not looking at it, you're looking at the screen and it happens to be on the screen. I don't think it's a big deal, and real people who actually see the phone in person don't think it's a big deal neither. So I don't see it as a flaw because I'm able to see as much as my screen as possible. The bezels are so thin and it just makes for a great experience. So I'm definitely okay with that. The color I have on the S10 Plus is the Prism White, and I don't know how they did it, but it seems like it doesn't get fingerprints like the other colors. And maybe it's just the color that it just kind of masks the fingerprints. They're definitely there, but they're not as noticeable as the other colors. If you look at my S10e video, I did a good job at hiding the fingerprints as I wipe the phone down quite often, but my S10e just has so many fingerprints on it when I just carry it for just a few minutes. It's not a major deal, but my sponsor may have something to say about that. They're D-Brand. They let you change the color of the phone. You can add some grip, some texture, and just a really unique design. It makes your phone completely customizable from the looks to the feel to pretty much everything. I'm a big fan of the dragon skin. I usually put that on everything I have. So anyways guys, hit my link down below to de-brand your device. Now there's one thing that people always ask me to do, and that's to show off the reverse power share. Although it's a cool feature, but beyond showing it off, I've never used it. I'm sure people will use it to charge their Galaxy Pods, but for me, I rather just charge things normally because I want to use my phone. When you're using the reverse power share, your phone is facing down and then you put something on the back of it, and I'd rather have my phone upright so I can see the screen. Performance on this phone is smashing all the other phones available right now, I would say besides the OnePlus 6T. However, even then, it's still neck and neck. The performance is amazing, and Samsung's One UI looks pretty good. I do like the bubble pop-ups, some people don't like it. The larger menus look good, and I think it's just a clean UI. Although it's not perfect because I did end up installing Nova Launcher for more control, but even without Nova, you can get into the theme store and find some cool themes. However, be prepared, even if you have a nice theme, a lot of your apps will have the old icon and it sort of looks hodgepodge after a while. So I do recommend installing Nova because a lot of icon packs have more icons than what you're seeing in the Galaxy store. The in-body fingerprint sensor isn't as bad as critics say. It's not as smooth or intuitive as a regular fingerprint scanner, but I think it works pretty well. You definitely need a rhythm to use it. What I mean by that is that you sort of have to know how long to put your finger down on it. Look, it's not intuitive, it's not super easy to use, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes second nature. Hopefully with different iterations it becomes better, but if not, Samsung should definitely go back to a standard fingerprint scanner. Now it does have face to unlock, albeit it's not as secure as Face ID because you can actually unlock a phone using a picture of yourself. But anyways, I still think the fingerprint scanner is fine. If not, you can do pen, you can do swipe, or you can use your face, although not secure. The camera is an upgrade from the Galaxy S9. However, if you're using the Note 9, then I think it's pretty much the same camera except for with the wide angle feature added onto it. It has a whopping 3 cameras on the back, and I think that's still pretty crazy. And look, I'm all about options and I'm cool with that. Instead of, like photographers swap lenses out, you have all the focal lengths built into the camera. But one thing I've noticed, and I continue to notice, is that the telephoto lens is actually bad. Pictures look very soft and the color just looks bad. It just doesn't process right. And overall, telephoto lens is just a major disappointment. The standard focal length and wide is as good as you expect it to be with any Samsung device. Outside, the pictures look great. Natural light, everything looks fantastic. Although it's not super realistic as far as colors and the way things look, I still think it makes a great punchy image that if you're looking at it on a mobile device, I think you'll like how it looks. It may not be true to life as a Pixel or as a Nokia PureView 9, but I think it just looks fantastic and no one would have complaints when you're viewing it on your phone. But I think low light performance is still lacking. You can go into low light and try to take a picture, and what happens is it overexposes. So what you need to do is bring the exposure down before you take the picture, and it ends up looking okay, but most people don't really mess with exposure before taking a picture with their cell phone. I think the front-facing camera is also better too, even with live focus mode. I've taken some solid selfies with it, and it left me really impressed. I'm not a guy that takes tons of selfies, but to test the camera, I do have to take a lot of selfies, and I was actually impressed by the way it turned out. So big kudos to Samsung on that, because they made some adjustments with the front-facing camera, because with the Note 9, I wasn't getting these same results. I will say with the front-facing camera though, low light, the image falls apart very quickly. Your face starts to look really overly smooth, and it starts to look a little yellowish, and I don't really like the front-facing camera in lower lights with the S10 or even the Note 9 too, kind of did the same thing. Now you compare this camera to any phones besides the Pixel and it holds its own, even next to the iPhone too. However, when you do compare to the Pixel, then you quickly see how far behind Samsung is to the Pixel, and that's unfortunate. I will say one of the shining features is the video mode on the S10. It has a ton of shooting video modes like slow-mo, super slow-mo, and that hasn't changed from previous Samsung phones, but it's definitely still a nice feature. There's also the all-new super smooth stabilization mode, and that works as described. It's really good. It makes your phone feel like it's sort of on a gimbal. And I actually used it during a real estate photo shoot. I just had the phone and I was kind of doing a walkthrough, and I was surprised how the video turned out after doing it. All in all, the S10 is a fantastic phone. It's the phone I recommend for Android users. I think overall, it's just better than every other phone. Now, it may not be as fast as the 6T, may not have a great camera compared to the Pixel, but for a total package phone, there's nothing better out. But what is the best one for you? Because you have quite a few options now. You have the S10 Plus, the S10, and the S10e. I think for most people, the S10e is a better phone. I talked about it in the S10e review, so make sure to hit the link down below to check that video out as well. However, for people who want that larger screen and you want the latest and greatest in tech, even though it may be an inconvenience with the in-body fingerprint sensor, then obviously the S10 is going to be better, or the S10 Plus, get that longer battery life and get that wide front-facing camera, then yeah, the S10 Plus is a fantastic phone if you can stomach the price. These phones are really expensive, and that's kind of why I think the S10 is a better choice for people, $750 versus $1,000. Anyways guys, that was my 30 days and some change with the S10, and these are my final thoughts. I want to give you something more in depth than the 5-day impressions that I did. Even though it got a ton of views, I still want to make this video complete and close this chapter on the S10. Anyways guys, I will be comparing it to other phones as they come out, so make sure you hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already for whatever reason you're not. And also, I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja. It is very late, it's past my bedtime, so I'm a little loopy, but I want to thank you for watching.